Whether it's strawberry shake, or downtown to browntown, humanity will find a way to talk about sex. After all, the porn industry generates between $15 billion to $97 billion a year. Every second, $3,075.64 is being spent on it. This also naturally has made its way to video games, I guess. To my surprise. Is that what it looks like? Is that what it looks like? Now, admittedly, I have seen plenty of these kinds of games pop up in my new release tab on Steam. Anyway, as I was perusing my new and trending and seeing these types of games, I had to think to myself, how does this music sound? Like, is it good? Like, is the music in a video game about sex actually good? After all, composers compose to move us and make us think and feel and experience the waves of emotion of our characters, whatever those emotions are. Let's dive in and hear and not see, because I like my job, what this kind of music actually ends up sounding like, shall we? First up is the Forest BGM 15 from Hallow Ground. Yeah, I mean, that is surprisingly stunning, isn't it? I find it very somber. It has clearly like a Celtic feel. I think that the sound in there is really emotional. It elicits definitely the feelings of remorse, or even being like overwhelmed or absorbed in and by like the emotional like intensity of being with somebody. Like there's a real quality in that sound of a coming of age, an awareness of oneself, a like searching for oneself, finding oneself. And especially I think really cool too is the duet between the saxophone and the singer. Well, we have this kind of like natural underpinning where it doesn't really move a lot necessarily, but what we do get out of that is the back and forth between the sax and the soprano there. And I think like that really works unbelievably well. It's very morose, but also very, very, very thoughtful at the same time. There's absolutely a quality of a feeling of wanting to understand. I really, really like how simple it is. It's not very rangy. There is a part near the middle of the piece where the saxophone kind of goes up, which is maybe like an emotional sort of reaction to something. But in general, the piece is pretty even-keeled, which is really cool. It does feel like wandering around in the forest, if you will. Definitely defied my expectations. I know that a lot of the games on this list are not just going to be games, but at the same time, like I wasn't sure what I was expecting, and right off the bat, that was not what I was expecting. It's clear to me that like the composition team or the composer was trying to elicit the sense of emotion to come out of that, and I feel like that works extremely well. Next up is Valkyrie Drive. This is Bhikkhuni. You know, that like borders ever so slightly on like Sawano. Like I could hear that in Attack on Titan, or I could hear it in like a Gundam anime. Honestly, that music is very good. I mean, there's a quality in that of forward momentum, of drive, of determination, of focus, of locking into an idea and pursuing it, and making sure that you accomplish a goal. There's energy in that piece. Now, it's very string laden, of course, and maybe it is a little shallow, but it doesn't really rob me of a feeling. I don't know. It doesn't pull me out of whatever's going on in the track. Like the track feels very, very, very committed and determined for something, whatever that determination may be. Well, only the people that have played this game know. But in terms of like the sound really does have forward momentum there that is quite nice. I mean, again, I'm like really kind of surprised. I mean, I don't know what I expected. I mean, I certainly just didn't expect, like, I don't know what I expected, to be honest with you, but it wasn't this, and it wasn't the previous song either. This is good. Like, I would listen to this at, like, the gym. What are you listening to? Oh, I'm listening to music from a porn. All that to say, like, I like it. I like it a lot. Next up is Ontology from Rance Arrange. Okay, wait. So I think what I'm starting to understand is my own preconceived notions of these games were that they were just... And clearly there are story arcs. I mean, even here with this children's choir, that automatically we're in a sense of stress in this situation. There's a reveal. There's a sense of an unholy experience, whether it's a deity or a union or something's not right. And you hear that kind of, there's a little bit of stress. The chords underneath are pretty, moving us along. And then the choir's on top and there's dissonance in it as well. It's kind of really interesting to listen to. I love this pulsation. And there were... Jeez. Yeah. I mean, the energy buildup here is absolutely maddening. And also what's cool is that we have like a very, very, very practical and efficient move from a very distant sound, super sparse, just like limited things, to all of a sudden being thrust forward with that electric guitar. Now it does feel like there's a high stakes situation. It does, of course, feel like the guitar really amps up the idea that we're in a conflict and that there's like something that we have to achieve, a goal and the destination, a conflict that has to be ended. There's a natural quality in that of intensity. Also, it absolutely rips. Like, and that's the thing about electric guitar, is that it's such a vocal instrument, even though like it's like one of the closer instruments to me whenever I listen to it, where I'm like, oh, this is just like a person wailing away. And even just that, it almost sounds like Uematsu. It's really crazy. I love the chorus and the sort of repeated choral movement in that. Also just sends home this real like feeling like end of the world bleakness, like sort of looking at the clouds become really dark and you're like, oh no, this is like a moment. This is going to happen, and then the enemy strikes down like a bolt of lightning or throws down a spear, and then you're left with this feeling of like, well, I have no choice, I have to fight, and then you just pull out your sword and you say, all right, have at thee, let's go. And when I said sword, I mean like an actual sword. I'm really impressed. That's really cool. Shift in tempo, interesting. Okay, we back pedal. That's beautiful choir. Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, that's gorgeous. So we have this big emotional rhythmic and tempo shift. Then we dial back, and we just have this beautiful nearish choir and by nearish choir, what I mean is no vibrato, very lined up, super kind of focused, and it's just like a real like embracing of conflict or a holy messenger or something. There's something really emotional about it, isn't there? And I just love how pure it sounds. I want to see where we go now. Okay. That's cool. Jeez. See, now that's cool. So now, like near the end of the piece, that's when we integrate the chorus and the vocals. Wow, I mean, I'm like really impressed by this. This is such a cool track. Also love the little emphasis beats there. That's so cool. A little bit of like jazz organ kind of. Nice sustain there. Da-da-da! Nice repeats there. 3 repeats. Boom, and then we end on this sustained note. Again, no, I don't know what's happening in that scene, but that's pretty epic. No, but seriously, I don't know what's happening in there, and it's incredible how emotional that is. Like, that really defies what I expected. I think I misunderstood what... I don't know. I thought it was going to be something else. I really did. Unless this is that. But I don't think so. That's amazing. That's so forward momentum, strength, a feeling of empowerment, like willing to fight the fight, go to bat for somebody, protect the one you love. Yeah, or it's just... I really like that piece. Let's check out Swan's song, Last Swan. Wow. Gorgeous. Some really nice voice leading there with the cello and the wonderful harmony in the viola, and some really... Is that a chorus in the background? Really nice harmonic movement, moving in unison with the main violins. Nice meandering. Nice timpani in the background. Oh, cymbal crash there. Moving, walking bass line there. A bit repetitive, kind of repeating itself incessantly. Does it stay this way for 5 minutes? Well, let's take a little break there and talk a little bit about that. What I'm really impressed by. So first of all, I'm not impressed by the fact that it's repeating incessantly. Now, that said, the repeating incessantly would be probably perfectly fine in context, whatever the context is. I also think that it would be perfectly fine. It feels very much like a coming of age, a rebirth, or the birth, or an awakening. Obviously, given the subject matter, it could be many different things. But I do think that what's really powerful about that is that it does feel like it's like swelling and growing. I do believe that the natural growth of... I can't do this. I do believe that the way that it starts with the sort of small string ensemble, almost a string quartet, but there's a couple extra instruments in there, it sounds like. I think that that's really luscious. I think that that's really heartfelt, honest. I think it's really beautiful. And then it's interesting because then when we add the soprano over top, I think that that's where the innocence kind of comes into play. And now it repeats itself over and over and over. And it could be a menu theme, but I also think that this is a moment of like true like awakening, of becoming oneself, of realizing what it means to be in the world or a player in the world and navigating the difficulties of said world. There's definitely an awakening quality in that I think shouldn't go underappreciated because it's very, 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 very sentimental, but you can get yourself lost in that sound, which is really nice. And that's why I don't totally bemoan the repetition, because I think it's important. I mean, I definitely think it's pretty, but it doesn't really go anywhere. That said, I think that repetition is really important for locking in the feeling of a piece. Let's just keep listening. I'm just curious. I might fast forward a little bit just to hear if there's a change. I think the unison movement's really nice as well. Okay, yeah, okay, it changed, okay. Yeah, again, now everything's kind of moving in unison. The nice bell sound is triangle is really nice. Okay, and then the... Okay, cool. It's very angelic, isn't it? I'm glad it changes, even though it's the same. Very nice harmony. Yeah. Ooh. Dissonance. Ooh. Nice resolution. Ooh, there it is. That's very nice. A little meandering in the mezzo and the soprano. Oh. And then we circle back, we bookend. I really like the cello movement there. Oh, it changes. That's nice. I think it's just a repeat. It's just a repeat. Nice slow build up into the finale of it. Yeah, I mean, it does repeat quite a bit there, doesn't it? I definitely think it really, really, really is very poetic and very beautiful and very like an embrace, a hug, a real like sense of like opening one's eyes for the first time, seeing the one they love, possibly. Like there's a real sound quality in that of just of emotion, of being connected to somebody else. Now, I do think the repetition is excessive, and I do think that it gets a little bit grating after a while. But that said, given the context of a piece and we're listening to it in a vacuum, it's hard to really take points away from it. But I love how youthful and young the soprano voice sounds. There's really, really, like I mentioned earlier, a ton of innocence that comes through in that. And it's also just really, really beautiful. I mean, it's just like simple and sublime. Next up is Little Busters Lamplight. Let's check it out. How do you name a game Little Busters and then have the most peaceful, beautiful piano over? I mean, yeah, again, much like the Swan song piece, there is absolutely a feeling of innocence. There's a little bit of melancholy in there as well. The innocence really gives way when the upper register in the upper piano. I think that repeated motion in there is really present. I also think that clearly the sound of a young girl or something with a flute. I think that again, those two things mark this very much in the sort of child or young something or other trying to navigate the wide world and the difficulty that can come from that. On the flip side, there's also the sound quality of like looking at someone you love and saying something or being told something very sweet. There's and again, I think that sort of virtuousness, purity, emotional like innocence, kind of naivete, that all kind of comes through, and it's really, really sensitive and very, very, I think, quite beautiful. And I think that really, I mean, what a beautiful piece. It's really, there is of course a degree of melancholy in there, but for the most part, I really just feel that it's really lovely. Now, on the flip side, we now have Sloppie Boppie from HuniePop, which I've heard is a fantastic pick 3 game or match 3 game, I guess they're called. This is a full-on medley of some of the greater pieces from HuniePop. Oh, the heartbeat. Okay, this is the HuniePop theme. It's like a party. Love is Blind, Love Island. Welcome to Love Island. Get yourself some funk, some walking bass there. Dawnwood Park. We're going on a date. Things are bright and breezy. I'm excited for what's to come. Actually, really nice music there. Very bright, very happy, very bubbly, energetic. Farmer's market. Okay. Very repetitive there. It's a bright, beautiful day. We're buying apples and rhubarb, and the artisanal bread is over there in the corner. You're arm in arm with someone before you go to the shopping mall. Ooh, it's time to go shopping. Very bright. Everything's very bright. It's a great day to be spending money. There's an inherent energy in this piece. Pretty joyful, too. We love to shop and buy stuff. Short little bursts here are quite nice. Never get bored of a track, per se. Vinny's Restaurant. The first vocal track we've heard. Again, everything's a good mood. We like Vinny's restaurant. We like going to the farmer's market. We like the forest, the park. We pick up a tempo and go into the water park now. Good vibes all around. There's never a bad vibe. Pretty much every piece is a similar tempo and energy. This one's kind of a little bit more laid back, isn't it? I like the plucking. Oh, in the bedroom. Yeah. Now we slow it all the way down. Time to unwind. It's always a saxophone. It's always the George Michael Careless Whisper saxophone, always. Very chill vibes. The lights are dimmed, candles are lit. You just gotta chill and relax. Be alright. Life is good. All these tracks are like pretty layered, interestingly, but it's not so intense, you know, musically. Okay, this is the most played one. This is... Oh. We're in the club now for sure. There's no way we're not. This is like, what? Lusty's nightclub. HuniePop theme. Alright, this is the main theme. Love the clapping. Yeah, you know.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Why does she have an Italian accent? Now, I do think that, like, you know, the nightclub song was a banger. I also think that a lot of these are very shallow. Not in a negative way, not in a derogatory way, but in a sense that, like, all these are feel-good tracks. Like, the point of this is to feel empowered and encouraged and really go with the flow, right? The purpose here is not to make you worry or stress, but to make you relax and feel like, hey, anything is possible. They're a little homogenized, but not to the point that they're unpleasant. They're all really pleasant to listen to, but like I can't tell you which one was which, except for the nightclub scene, and then of course the HuniePop main theme, which I think was probably the best one. Again, the energy in this is really, really, really vibey, and ultimately the purpose is to just enjoy it. There's not a lot of emotional heft. We're not like reading between the lines. I did really enjoy the George Michael piece. The which one was that? In the Bedroom. I thought that was really beautiful, actually, and I actually also think that the saxophone is just such a sultry instrument that I think really carries a piece like that. And in general, I think, like, you know, even in the case of Careless Whisper, it's just like, I mean, there's a reason why it's so famous, and I think partly it's because of how good the saxophone can sound. I'm gonna play HuniePop because I'm tired of not having it in my life, to be honest with you, and not because I'm sad or anything. Just because HuniePop, it actually seems very bright and energetic, and the music is a prime example of that as well. Next up is Duel Princess, soundtrack 1. Oh, I like the guitar. Dum 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 dum. I like the rhythm. That's amazing piano. Mixed in with, it's like jazz almost. I like the energy in this very much. That's, again, bright and effervescent all day. I like how we traded off there. The piano was front and center, and now it's the guitar again. Ooh. That's pretty. Ding, ding, twinkling of the bells. Dun, 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 yada, 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 yada. Yeah, I like that a lot. Again, the energy there is so vibrant, so positively. You can do anything you set your mind to without performance enhancers. A real quality of joy in it, doesn't it? A possibility of like belief in yourself. I really liked that. I've got way too many jokes in my brain right now, but I really love the energy in that. It's very vibrant, very bright. I especially love the piano. I especially love the guitar. I felt that the whole piece really was like trading off places, and the guitar actually ended up being the main melody there for quite a while, but it was all layered really beautifully because the piano at one point was a little bit dominant, then it kind of pulls back into the background. The guitar, same thing. Guitar is kind of like omnipresent throughout the entire piece. Just had a real warm sound to it, which was really, really fun. Next up is Demonbane, the Absolute of Darkness. My fiance calls me Demonbane. Never thought that I would see my name here. Anyway. Whoa! Now, all I'm going to say is that the organ is always scary. In video games or in video game related adjacent things, always scary. You got to put this on next time. I'm just saying. Imagine. I am Demonbane. I am here. It's so funny, wait, but seriously though, like what's actually really funny to me is that the organ in video games tends to be like so anti-religious, so anti-Christ, so like anti like what we would normally hear in like a Catholic church or something. I always really like hearing the organ in video games because it always has a quality of like bad or like nefarious, you know, and that's what makes it really fun to me. It's like a Bach toccata kind of, but it also like veers off on its own, and it's like saying like, hey, you're in trouble, you know what I mean? And I love that there's this sort of like, I am the great, you know what I mean? There's a quality in that of danger, of an enemy, of a villain. It's cool. Again, this whole experience has been sort of eye-opening. A lot of this I just didn't anticipate at all. Yeah. Wow. A nice horns coming in there. Damn, that's bleak. so much dissonance as we descend down into hell, it feels like. Wow. Dum dum chum chum. It's so much dissonance. Da da. You know what I really like about this piece is that it's consistently like bombastic. It's interesting because on the lower end, we always have this constant movement that's sort of pulling us along. On the other side of the spectrum, we have the upper register organ, or the middle register organs, quite loud, quite bombastic, really steals the show. And then over top of that, we have the chorus, and that layering is just so effective because it really does feel like, okay, I went into this not really making it a joke, right? But I certainly was thinking about how to use certain puns and be playful and whatever. But then a piece like this, and the rest of them, to be fair, have shown up, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's kind of amazing music. I mean, like, this piece very much feels like the arrival of something truly brutal, right? The arrival of something that really wants to press and oppress and bury, and there's a real strength in that sound, but like in a nefarious, dangerous kind of way. And that's really the thing that kind of comes across. Also, the organ tends to attribute itself with older things, and that really is at play here. And I just frankly, I really like it. I mean, I don't know that I'll play this piece or any of the pieces that I've listened to in the car or anything like that. But what I would say is that these pieces are really well written. There's a sense of gravitas and danger laden within this piece, and it's just like cool to hear. Let's listen to Cloud Meadow, Savannah's theme. All right, total opposite. Whoa. Sitar's crazy. Wow, and then you get this gorgeous guitar over top too. Dude, I don't know what the hell Cloud Meadow is. I love that track so much. It's such a mood. It's such an energy in that track. I love the shouting. I love the chanting, hey, hey. I love the sitar. I love the way the melody is. I mean, everything about it. I have like zero thoughts to add or anything to say besides like that was absolutely a banger. I enjoyed that so much. It's just like, it just makes you want to move. Well, unless that's the point. I wonder what rhythm that is or what the tempo is, because the tempo too is just I loved it. I have no notes. I have nothing to add. I just don't. It's like so nice. I've heard about this. Fate Stay Night, EMIYA. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but let's take a listen. Oh, wow. I love this sound effects. That's cool. Again, we're just driving home the dial, turning up the stakes. It's very serious. A minute of intro is interesting. Boom. This is like awakening. Again, it's like an evolution. It's like coming out of one's skin and becoming something. Are we gonna have a build-up and a release? Sort of. You know, I like that, but I feel like it doesn't really go anywhere, does it? I kept hoping for some like major development or like musical plot to unravel itself. And while I do feel like there's an intensity in that piece that really drives itself forward, motivates, kind of, it really does feel like, I don't know, like summoning all the forces within yourself to become like the best version or something. It sort of is held back a little bit by the inability to progress or move forward. I do really like the piano and I do really like that little melodic lick, but I think more than anything, the thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't really feel like it has any sort of motivic or melodic direction. I mean, it's a great piece for setting a mood and for like a feeling, which it obviously is the goal, and it succeeds in that. So I'm not saying like that's not the goal, because I mean the goal is achieved, but I don't feel that it lands quite the way I would want it to. I really like the synthesizer. I really like the like sort of EMI bass drops in there too. It's almost like a transformer or something. I don't know, like becoming like holding out like an Iron Man, like becoming Iron Man or something as Tony Stark. Or I don't know. There's a quality in that of transformation or commitment that is really, really cool. This is Song of Saya from Saya no Uta. A lot of Japanese stuff I'm noticing. Interesting. Like a mysterious tension in that. I really like the la la chant there. Again, a repeated cycle here, like a realization, an awareness, a truth revealed consistently. It's gonna go somewhere. That's a really interesting sound effect there. That distortion is really like shifting gears. Something not being what we expected it to be. It's actually kind of disturbing almost. What's interesting is that the dichotomy there is fascinating because we have this like almost like this door creaking open sound in the pressing and the underneath, while this very la la la, very simple, very elegant, very naive, very hopeless, bright-eyed, very very innocent sound mixed in with this real almost decrepit feeling of the like bones rattling or the door swinging open, right, slowly. And I think like that's really the thing that comes across to me. Again, it's not a piece I'm really crazy about. It's very repetitive, but I think like more than anything, it does feel bleak and like things are slipping through our fingers. There's almost a danger in the sound, kind of, but it's like very under the surface, very pervasive. There's sort of an innate pressure about it that I think is a little uncomfortable and jarring. And like the juxtaposition between the sort of ethereal, cavey sound mixed in with the la la las, which again, the la la las would be a very pure experience for a child or a young adult to sing, is very unnerving. Again, this has all been really interesting and very, very much defying what I kind of anticipated to hear, but I don't really know what I was anticipating to hear. Let's check out Sakura no Chido Koro from Mirai Nostalgia. It's got like a Moonlight Sonata Beethoven as aesthetic to it, doesn't it? Absolutely a separation, a distancing, a letting go of something you cared for. It's a very somber track. Beautiful piano though. Ta-da. Oh no, it shifts, it doesn't, aha! It avoids the tonic. Very much like a ballad. Da da ya da 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 ya da da. It keeps us sustained a little bit. We don't know. Oh, wait. Huh. Yeah, throughout this piece, there's really the feeling of like almost like a big loop. Like it feels like the emotions, like there's rumination in that sound. Like how, like the lyrics in my brain were like, how can I keep from being with you? How can I keep losing my mind? There's a real feeling in there of like being like unrequited love or being in an inescapable situation where you want to be with someone but they have to go away, or you want to be with somebody and then they can't be around. Or on the flip side, it could be like, you know, you found love and love is great and it's melancholy, but it really feels like there's like sickness involved. There's some sort of like being robbed of an opportunity. Like, I don't know, the sound quality in that's really really somber and melancholic, and I think it's beautiful. The contemporary piano stuff is so interesting to me because it like, I think it lacks some of the like nuance of like the romantic time period classical piano, which, without being hoity-toity about it, it's like the romantic time period for classical piano is so emotionally laden. Contemporary piano music tends to sound a little, well, I guess whiny to a degree. This one veers very close to that, like, but I also think it's really honest, and I think the sound quality and the way that the piece is composed, there's an inherent feeling in that of sadness. So I don't want to say that it sounds whiny because I don't think it does, but mentally, I inevitably am comparing it to like something from who knows what. I like how you can sort of immediately tell, like, this is let's say this character really wears their heart on their sleeve, right? Like that's something that really comes across, and I think that that's really important. Let's check out She Doesn't Like You from Beat Banger. Is this a rhythm game? Beat Banger? This piece just makes me feel like you're up to no good, you know? Again, it doesn't really develop. It kind of repeats itself, and repeats itself. But it does kind of feel like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I mean, I quite like the heavy emphasis on the beat, part of Beat Banger. It's like the perfect piece that you would hear at a club. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's really fun. It's a little bit spicy only in the sense that it's like, there's a little bit of like a, caught you. I don't know. There's a playfulness in the sound. I don't really know why I feel that way, but that's just the thing that comes across to me. I don't know. I find it really energetic, and it's just a blast. I mean, honestly, this whole experience has been really interesting because I set out to investigate the music of, you know, the adult video game scene, and mostly just out of sheer curiosity. And what I'm coming away with is a lot more diverse and a lot more nuanced than I anticipated. Did I like every piece I've listened to today? No, absolutely not. But I do think that some of these were really, really exceptionally beautiful, and I think did a great job, as any music in a video game, at telling a story. Yeah, let me know if we should keep doing this. I'm a little bit afraid of the puns that will come. But yeah, you know, I think I've run out of puns for one video. Thanks a ton, everybody, and I'll see you later.